everybody. Again, Zucker, exclusive Black presenter with Younique. And tonight we are going to have a great little interview with Jamie. She's another Black presenter and she's in Seattle. So we're just waiting for her to show up and we're just gonna get going as soon as she gets here. So I'm going to make sure that she is invited and that she knows where to go. So just give me a second as we get here, get her on board. So let me find her. I found her, but let's see if we can't get her. All right, I'm going to tell her that it started and to get logged on. Invite her here. Let me see. Where is, sometimes we learn how all of this works. We'll get it going, right? Cameraman. Let's see. Add guests from their video. Oh my gosh, we will get this as soon as, oh, here it is. Add names. Here we go. I sent it to her. So she should be here anyway. I'm telling her that we sent her an invite. We'll have her join us in just a second. She hasn't done one of these, so we'll have to welcome her to the outside world. So let me tell you a little bit about her while we wait for her. She has been with Younique since January 2014. Jamie is really awesome. We got to meet at our Unified retreat. That is a retreat that when you are a green status presenter, that's like the first, one of the main levels of leadership. We went up and they invited us all to this great cabin and we got to know each other there. And we promoted, I believe, the same month for Black. Are you there?
Yeah. Hi there.
Hi. I was just giving you an introduction even though you weren't with us yet. So I'm so glad you're here. Yay!
Technology has failed me.
Huh?
Technology did not fail me this time.
No, it's very good. So I'm going to just continue the introducing you to our audience tonight. And we're just going to go do some question answers. I gave her some questions that we're going to cover, but we'll just go from there. And I just want to finish my little cheat sheet here. I think one of the best things about Jamie that you have to know is that this is her first direct sales company, her first network marketing company, her first multi-level marketing company. She's never been a part of it before. So that is what's so amazing. And she is in the first top 55 presenters, became Black level presenter out of 178,000 presenters. She's one of the top 100 right now. So that is woo, woo, kudos to her. One of the other really great things about her is that she actually has a full-time other job, another business. And not only that, but she's super smart. She's an architect. She's like an award-winning architect, and that is amazing to me. So kudos for you for doing both businesses. And she also has, she says she has 3 boys. One is a really big one and it's a husband, and 2 little sweet ones. I'm sure they're perfectly sweet, right? And then she said that she just kind of fell into this and fell in love with all of the women. And I have to agree with her that some of my favorite things about this company is that you get to make a lot of friends that you didn't even know that you had that are in different parts of the country. Because I'm in Colorado and Jamie is in Seattle. So, I have a friend in Seattle that I can go visit now and we can talk lashes and other stuff too. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it to you. I did ask her a couple fun things. Jamie, first, I would love for you to introduce yourself, and tell your story in your words. I know that I gave you an introduction, but I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself. And then I would love to hear your top 3 tips and tricks or things that you love to tell brand new presenters when they first get started and how to help them get going and everything like that. So I would love it if you would share that with us.
Okay. Can you see me on your end, or is the video portion working on my side?
It is. You are good. It just will
Okay.
change as according to who's talking. So
Okay.
I won't talk and it'll change to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Jen. I appreciate the introduction. Hi, everyone. On the Lash Queen team, my name is Jamie Sue, and I am a Black Level exclusive presenter with Younique. I am in the Seattle area, where we have actually a nice little group of very high-level presenters and a great network of Lashinistas, really enjoying ourselves making waves in this industry. As Jen mentioned, I am a first-time direct salesperson. This is my first go. This will probably be my last go. I didn't get into this business actually looking to find a business. How I started was I fell in love with the mascara, like many of us did, back in January of 2014. And I was a kidnapper. I had just returned a bunch of makeup to Bare Minerals because their eyeshadows creased on me, and I said, well, shoot, for $100 I get 30 pigment colors at that time versus the 4 that I had just paid for almost the same price. What's the risk? And I knew I was getting another set of this mascara I was already in love with. So I was a kidnapper. My first goal after getting the kit was to make back sorry, not make back anything, but to get mascara for the rest of the year. So I was hoping to net about $125 in sales, and that was where I expected to stop. So I hosted my first 10-day Lash Bash. It turned into a $2,000 party, and my friends loved the mascara. Before I knew it, I had a couple team members, and as we know, once you have a team member, your sense of commitment and obligation to this business kind of changes a little bit. And so really I felt that not only was it worthwhile to continue this business, but now I had people who were counting on me to show them the way. So I think somewhere in there my mindset changed, and this went from being an attempt to get some awesome product for little to no money to being a hobby that pays really well. I promoted within the first couple of months, and within 8 months I I promoted to the black level, same graduating class, if you will, as our Miss Zucker here. And I've never looked back. I mean, it's so much fun. I love the women I work with, both on my team and my quote-unquote sisters and cousins that are part of the group as well. And that network has continued to grow from not just going to Unified, but going on the Bermuda cruise, well, Bermuda, not Bermuda cruise. And as our team continues to grow, that also increases. So I'm up to almost 1,200 team members, and we make sure to make it a lot of fun. So Jen, to get into your first question, which was 3 tips to get started, I know there's a lot of different personality types, and where I'll come from may not match up with everyone else, but hopefully, I'm just one of many presenters that have found success with Younique, and that Jen will be able to introduce you guys to and get this sort of feedback from. But my 3 tips to get started, number 1 is just do it. You can wait to understand every single chemical or non-chemical aspect, ingredient aspect behind our products. You can wait until you know exactly how the compensation plan works from top to bottom. I mean, there's a lot of things to hang your hat on as far as saying, well, I'm not ready to start yet. For me and for my presenters, my suggestion is just do it. I mean, with the way that we're set up, with all the support we have, where we have almost real-time access to information within the Facebook groups, we have support from so many qualified and experienced presenters, and since we do some selling on social media, where if someone gives you a question you don't have an answer to, you can have an answer back to them before they ever realize you didn't have the answer to begin with. So by tapping into your own team support, whether it's your upline or your downline, I think that there's a lot of information there. So my suggestion, number 1, is to just do it. don't definitely learn to love the product first. I think that's important because then you're able to share versus sell. So it's less of a pushy type approach. So I think that is important. But after that, it's just sharing your enthusiasm. You don't have to be able to tell them whether or not the product's gluten-free to be able to say, you know what, I really love this mascara and I'm going to wear it every single day.
Honestly, isn't that the best part? That, I mean, if you didn't have the answers, you could seriously not answer for like 2 minutes and then go find out the answer. You know what I mean? Is it gluten-free? Oh, I got to go find out. You know what I mean? And then be able to do it. It's like, that's the only way that I learned, and it sounds like that's how you learned too. It's like just step by step, and you just learned as you went along.
Correct. And I think that's knowing that you've got an awesome upline, an awesome sponsor who are going to help provide you that information in the time that you need it. But it's not like going to an at-home party where you're on your own, standing in front of 20 women who are maybe feeding off of each other, rocketing questions towards you. I mean, this method of getting the word out allows us to have a little bit of a break and say, you know what, I don't even have to say I don't know. I'm just going to open up a new window on my computer screen and get that answer, and then be able to return to that person within minutes and look like an authority because of it. My number 2 tip to get started is to share what you know. A $29 sale is great. But I would argue that a $65 or $130 sale is even better. So the more of our products you use, the more you can authentically share. Our presenter kit has taken a couple of different configurations even since I started. And what I love about how it is now is that you're getting to try some of our best sellers. So you're not coming out of there with 30 eye pigments, and our mascara almost is kind of the mainstay of your product knowledge. You're getting liners and uplift, and I mean you're getting into the bulk of the product line as well as mascara, so that when you go out there and someone asks you what do you like about it, you can tell them. You have a great idea of, I mean, you haven't tried everything, but you've got a good sense of what the quality of the product line is and how it works for you. So you're able to, instead of just say, hey, you know what, buy this for $29, if someone were to ask, or if it's your sister or someone along those lines, you can go ahead and go beyond that, and you can be sharing with them, hey, you know what, this collection, this might be a great way for you to start. Don't worry, there's a 14-day love it guarantee. All the tools are in place to help you to succeed and to help you best serve your clientele, but you get to start big. And it's as we've learned through this process, it's much easier to roll downhill than it is uphill. Yeah. Somebody says no to you on a big thing, you can say, okay, back it down to, okay, you'll just do a $29 sale. If somebody says, oh, no, I'm not interested in the mascara, it's really hard to roll up to a $220 collection from that. So, that's my tip number 2. Share what you know, which means you also need to learn the products that are in our line.
Yeah, I think that when you start with one, of course, being the mascara is what you start with. And look, I even did it. See, I have my happy on my sad eye. So I even had a facial today, and look, I still stayed. But back to the whole thing is like when I first started too, Jamie, maybe you're the same way. It was like, no, I can just I'll just do the mascara. And then you were like, no, wait, this lip gloss is great. And then they came out with the pencils, and then they came out with this. And so yes, the line is growing, and it's fantastic, and they're just coming out with more great stuff, and it's a full cosmetic line. Yes, you can absolutely just sell mascara, but you're right, being a product of the product for somebody new is huge.
Absolutely. And and it's not to say that you can't have a successful business based just on our mascara, but if it gives you more opportunity to get in front of different people to have experience with more of our line, then I ask where the downside is to that. My 3rd tip to get started is that there is no one right way to do this business. How Becky runs her business, how on Facebook, how that Julie has 3 million Pinterest followers when she's starting this, and you don't. None of those are limitations. There's no one right way to run this business. I think there's wrong ways, and those are things that are non-compliant, which are gonna get you in the hot seat when you don't want to be. I mean, there's enough to business without adding stress to it, but hopefully a good sponsor will help you learn the roles as you go. but be authentic and run this business in a way that's authentic to how you are and allows you to be personal about it. I found that, you know, one of the unexpected benefits of this business is I run a general construction company. We do residential work, remodels, and custom homes. And when I started selling mascara, I actually brought my remodeling business over $100,000 worth of remodels in the first 3 months. And that was because I found a new way to be in front of my old network of people, and I just reminded them I was there. Yes, it was through a $29 product, but then, you know, their mom who was doing a $75,000 remodel, or themselves who were doing, you know, going to spend $45,000 on their bathroom, I was put in a position where I could help them. And so it really fed into my business. Now, that being said, when I was doing my Facebook parties, you know, there were a lot of posts that I'd seen that I didn't use. You know, I'm not a big makeup person prior to this. Mascara was optional before I started with Younique, and it wasn't a necessary part of my daily routine. Now I don't leave home without it. But, you know, I ran my parties. I never put anything out there that the words wouldn't come from my mouth. Not to say it's right, not to say it's wrong. I kind of have a odd, slightly brash sense of humor at times. But at the same time, this network that I've established leading up to this, they knew to expect that. So it was a matter of me not necessarily bucking what I had been taught by my sponsor, but being able to adapt it to something that was just a little bit more me. And I think that made it all that much more compelling when I could share the products with them. So, you know, third tip is there's no one way to do this business.
And be yourself. I mean, that's a huge part of it. I mean, because people know if you're not being authentic or not. So I think that's great. There isn't a wrong, you know, I mean, there's so many ways. And I mean, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, I mean, even at-home parties, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you want, then that's what you can do. You have that option. There are so many different ways, so I appreciate you sharing that, because those are all great tips. I love them. So, all right, so next one. What 3 tips do you have for those presenters that want to become leaders like yourself? They want to, whether it's green or orange or purple or a black level presenter or a black level 1 presenter. I mean, what are your 3 tips for those people?
Okay. Tip number 1 on becoming a leader. And I think this question, I think it's not just about how to ascend to leadership, but I also think it's about how to lead as well. Whether you have a team of 2 or you've got a team of 2,000. I think that these tips kind of come into play. My first tip is going to be don't fear fear. You know, so much of the time in this business we promote working or thinking or being outside of your comfort zone, and I think that really is important. It's not just part of self-development, but most of us are not set up in our daily lives and how we conduct ourselves to be so out there. You know, unless we've done this sort of a sales business before, it really is something new to talk to a stranger, to walk into a salon where you don't have an appointment and talk to the ask to speak to the manager. If you're having communication issues with your sponsor, to reach beyond your sponsor and go to their sponsor and ask for some additional guidance. I mean, all those things, those are things that can be scary the first time you do it. And they may limit your ability to share the opportunity if you're not willing to do it. One of the ways that I found helpful for both myself and my team members is to kind of change the way I look at it sometimes. You know, if I'm a pretty extroverted person, I don't have a problem walking into a room and talking about anything. But there are talking to anyone. But there are plenty of times when I do get intimidated. And it's really kind of putting on my big girl panties and saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about this. This is not my comfort zone, but I can handle it. What's the worst that can happen? And sometimes to make that happen, I'll go looking for no's. I'll say, I'm going to go collect 10 no's today. I'm going to follow up with a customer who previously told me, yeah, she thought it was okay, but it wasn't the best mascara ever. I'm going to reach back out to her and say, hey, can we meet up? I'd love to show you our new liners and lip gloss. Maybe there's some other products in our line that you'd like. She very well could say no. She could just not respond as well. But if I don't ask, chances are, one, she's never going to reach out to me, and two, somebody else is going to reach out to her. So it's really not being afraid to be uncomfortable and just going for it at times. So that's tip number one. Going right into tip number two, on becoming a leader or being a leader, I lead by example. I never ask my team to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. And that doesn't mean that I won't share other great ideas by leaders. But for instance, I really put it in front of my team that I would love for them to be not just qualified, but have the sales, personal retail sales that they need to be paid at whatever level their goal is for the month. You know, so whether that's $250 or $500 for that month, let's be there by the 5th. And you can bet when you look back at my months and my numbers, I have those sales as well by the 5th of the month. So I'm not telling them to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. So if we're doing a scavenger hunt and I want them to go out and get in front of people, I'll do it right alongside them, because I think that's the way that's a much more powerful way to show your team how you want them to do their business versus telling them. It's easy to think, oh, at the black level, you know, they don't need to do X, Y, and Z. But the reality is, the way this business is structured, we're always looking to grow our business. So I don't feel it's smart to cut myself off at the knees and say, you know, this is what the rest of my team will do, but I'm too good for it. So I lead by example, and that's tip number two.
That's huge, because it really is. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the picture too, where it shows the leaders. You know what I mean? It's not pushing them and telling them where to go. It's like, no, come follow me, come follow me. So leading by example is huge every month. And it's funny because I do the exact same thing. I mean, I'm ready. Absolutely, I want to have my $500 by the 3rd of the month, and that is on the 3rd. I mean, it's my plan, and that is what my goal is always to do, because when you're a presenter in the company, you have this little rainbow chart, and as you hit all your little levels, it goes up and up and up. That rainbow chart drives me crazy if it's not where I want it to be. So it becomes a problem. I'm like, I just want it to be at that part, and I hate that when it's not colored. So it absolutely drives me crazy. So and I appreciate that, and it's true, because we're always working to make sure that our levels of leadership is that we are walking the walk. I mean, it just absolutely is, and I appreciate that you shared that, because it's something that I really try personally hard, that I'm always doing what I'm asking everybody else to do. And we have tasks, and I don't know if you have tasks sometimes that you say, hey, today I want you to go talk to 5 people, or I want you to text 10 people, do these daily activities, and I put them on there, the ones that I'm doing that day. I don't just throw them out there so everybody else does them. I do them.
Yep. If I'm trying a new ombre lip thing and I want everyone else to post on their party about it, the first picture you'll see up is mine. You know, and I'm not a selfie queen. I would argue I'm not very comfortable on this side of the camera, but that's part of the don't fear the fear. I mean, you might or might not have seen me about ready to throw up before we started this webinar, but here I am. So it's about getting over it. And I think, Jen, you and I are stressing the PRS at the first part of the month for the same reason. That gives you the whole rest of the month to work on turning customers into presenters or hostesses and training them so that you have a successful rest of the month. You know, it really cuts away your time. You're not worried about 1/3 of your business, basically, because you've gotten that out of the way.
I mean, for me, my goal is every month. Every month I want 2,000 in sales. You know what I mean? Do I hit that every month? Not necessarily, but my personal goal is 2,000 in sales every month. And it is 500 by the 5th. You know what I mean? The 3rd and the 5th. That is like, the 5th is my drop deadline. And but it's just continually. And the more you're out there selling, right, the more people you meet, and then the more people that you're sponsoring, you know, and it's just the rule of thumb. So
absolutely. Yeah, and if you were hitting your $2,000 every month, then your goal's too low. So my third tip on becoming a leader is ignore the noise. Let's be honest, we've got thousands of women, sometimes in very restricted geographic areas, selling a fairly limited product line, this is a recipe for disaster. I mean, this is a whole bunch of estrogen, a little bit of competitiveness, beautiful women who are type A. I mean, this could be really bad. Usually it's not. I love the culture that Younique has created where we are uplifting and empowering each other, and I can't express my surprise at how that culture has really taken off and how it resonates throughout the company. But you know, there's still a little bit of drama here and there. And my recommendation is to stay above the noise. You are who you surround yourself with. So if you've got Debbie Downer is your best friend and you're on the phone with her every day and you're constantly picking her up, it's really hard not to get down on yourself at some point as well. You know, not saying don't be friends with her, but let's make sure that you've got some other friends that help, you know, keep you accountable, that are like-minded, that are goal-oriented, who are focused on celebrating your successes with you. Having those people around you as well will help you be a better leader, help you be a better businesswoman. And I take this as an application to my quote-unquote day job as well. You know, it's the 5 people you spend the most time with. They have the biggest impact on who you ultimately are. So be careful about who those people are that you choose. I think this has been such a great opportunity where I have some wonderful women in my upline and downline, but I've also got some really great friends that I've made where none of us are benefiting from knowing each other in a monetary stance. You know, they're my sisters and my cousins and my nieces. But that doesn't stop us from really having a wonderful relationship, and we are both or all benefiting from the relationship in ways that are not monetary. I mean, there's so much more that comes out of it. Maybe it reflects to how our team does in the end because we're exchanging ideas, but that's not what we're based on. It's really about helping to empower one another and you know, staying out of the downward spiral or the dramatic noise that leaves you so much energy to focus on propelling yourself forward.
I love that. I love that. Stay above the noise. I hadn't heard the term before like that, but I think that's awesome. So those are amazing. I'm so glad that you agreed to do this, to do this interview with me. I think that's fabulous, and I'm so happy about it. So okay, so two more little questions. First one, outside of the 3D Fiber Mascara, which is our absolute favorite and best product in the whole world, what is your next favorite product? And then the second part of that question is, I want you to explain that product, but then out of the whole thing, out of the whole Younique business, what is the most important and most wonderful thing that you've gotten about from being a part of this business?
Sure. My next favorite product, it's going to have to be a tie, actually. It was the lip gloss. I just love how it's not sticky. It doesn't smell. My hair doesn't get stuck in it, and I love the color variations that we have. That wasn't my favorite on its own until the lip liners came along. And I've been using them together, and I love the versatility of it. So I'm using one of my favorite combinations. Well, today I'm actually using, let's see, I have Prim eyeliner with a little bit of Pristine to do a light ombre, and then I used Lovable on top, which is normally not a very good color for me. But because I've got the Prim behind it, it kind of downplays the pink, and you just get to kind of create this whole new lip application using the products. But
That's awesome that you use the eyeliner. Amazing.
Yeah. The light one. And one of my favorites is Pompous, which is kind of the plummy lip liner, and Livid, which is the orange shiny lip gloss, which I was never able to wear before. But those two together, it just gives kind of like a tone to the plum lip liner, and it's awesome. So
I am so excited about trying that. So it's the Pompous and the Livid. See, because I can't wear the Livid either, and I put that on. And I was like, oh, this is not mine. But with the Pompous, see, I'm excited. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, gotta go play.
Yeah, so I'm always playing with those two products, and even getting into the lip liners, the eyeliners on my lips. To kind of get different looks. So I just really love how it's fun. It's easy. Let's see. My favorite thing about this business, I'm a relationships person. I'm one of those girls who, if I hadn't been in a sorority, I probably wouldn't have a lot of female friends. I tend to have, I mean, I have sons, I have boys, but I've always been into football, played video games, that kind of thing. I've been a little bit of a tomboy, and I'm in construction. So it's really given me a whole new group of girlfriends, which I didn't know I was missing from my life. It's all these best friends that I didn't know I didn't have. And it's been so rewarding. And then beyond that, if we're going layers of the onion, you know, I have friends all over the country now. You know, next time I'm in Colorado, I know where I need to stop by, at least to meet for coffee and to bat our lashes at each other. But there's almost nowhere in this country I can go without knowing I have some sort of a support group. If I'm stranded at the airport or something along those lines, I know those people are there, and if I need them. But more than likely, I know those people are there if I want to go play with them. So it's been really fulfilling. I was talking to one of the speakers who's going to be at our regional training here in Seattle on March 21st, and I was telling her, you know, I didn't do this for the money. I wasn't looking for a second business. In fact, if you told me, hey, in 1 year you'll have a team of 1,200 people and you'll be leading them, I would have said, no thanks, I've got a full plate as is. That it kind of grew into it is really lucky on from a lot of stances, and I would do it for free because I enjoy what I'm doing as much as I do. At the same time, I don't mind having a little slush fund and planning a 40th birthday bash for myself out of the country with my family and things along those lines that certainly having a little bit more cash on hand allows for. So, but the best thing is those relationships, the friendships that I have.
That's wonderful. I love that. And I love that. And I was explaining before you were on how we met at Unified, and that I was very lucky to have you be there and be a part of that group. So you have been so wonderful and so beautiful to be with us tonight, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate your time and your giving, and you're just amazing. So I'm very thankful and grateful, and thanks everybody, and thanks for being with us, and I'm sure that we will share this with our teams, and you can always contact one of us. You can contact me at www.lashqueen, see, I don't even know it, .com, so that's LALA lashqueen.com. And Jamie, what's yours?
Well, I'm sorry, I missed that last part.
What is your website?
Oh, we are at I'm sorry, www.mylashcrack.com.
Awesome. Thank you again. Thanks everybody for being with us. Go out and bat those lashes. Have fun. Thanks, Jamie.
Bye.
Bye.